What's up, guys? I wanted to talk today about the NFL trade deadline and the rumors that have been circulating around in the news. Now, this is something that I don't want to spend a ton of time on, but I realize that a lot of fans have questions and want to know about these rumors. So I want to talk briefly about whether or not I believe the Bears will make a move at the deadline. One of the biggest reasons is I had a lot of comments from people saying the Bears are going to stand pat this year. And I just wanted to address that because I don't disagree, but I don't entirely agree either. The Bears are all in right now, and they're in win now mode. Holes spent big this offseason in the trenches, signing Drew Dahlman, Grady Jarrett, and Dio Odangbo. On top of that, he traded for Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney, and he spent money extending Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards. So they had a lot of cap space entering this offseason, but pretty much that's all gone right now. Ryan Poles put all his chips on the table, at least for the 2025 season. Now, we can still move money around, especially while we have our quarterback on a rookie deal. So we have about 3.5 years left of real flexibility here. However, we don't have quite as much as we had the last couple of years. But that's the thing here. Even looking back the last few years, and our general manager has made at least one trade every year at the deadline. Now, he's made some expensive moves, acquiring Chase Claypool and Montez Sweat, but he's also made some smaller moves as well. Last year, he didn't add anyone, but he still traded away Khalil Herbert. So it's not just about acquiring players, but also trading away assets we have that are more valuable to other teams. But I believe the Bears are going to be looking to improve this roster. I already talked about the chances we could trade Braxton Jones, so I'm not going to address that in this video. But a couple of other names the Bears could be interested here, particularly pass rushers and cornerbacks. We already have reports from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler that the Bears are a good fit for Jets pass rusher Jermaine Johnson, and they could be interested in a pass rusher from the Falcons. But Jermaine Johnson is a guy who's playing on his fifth year option of his rookie deal, and he's scheduled to hit free agency next season. The Jets are 0-7. The Wills have fallen off their season. They've benched Justin Fields, and it's Tyrod Taylor time. With the team being that bad, it's at least worth looking into. However, the player himself does not expect to be traded. He tweeted out a Leonardo DiCaprio meme on Twitter: "I'm not leaving," but players really don't have much say in getting traded. Another player that is also reportedly on the Bears' radar, though, is Arnold Ebiketie from the Falcons. He's not getting much playing time right now, and similar to Braxton Jones, he's in the final year of his rookie deal. He's a guy who could use a change of scenery and could potentially be a good fit with the Bears. He's only 26 years old, and he's had 12 total sacks over the last 2 years, six apiece in 2023 and 2024. But the Falcons took two edge rushers really high in the draft, landing both James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. So this guy seems to be the odd man out and another name to keep an eye on. But a couple of other edge rushers that could be on the market: Arden Key for the Titans, Boya Mafe of the Seahawks, Jalen Phillips of the Dolphins, and another intriguing one here is Aziz Ojulari, the Eagles edge rusher who's recovering from a torn ACL. He could potentially be looking for a new home as well. But the other position I'm really watching is the cornerback market. With Jalen Johnson out for a while, Terrell Smith out for the year, and all three of our starting cornerbacks now have been banged up, we could really use another corner in the room. And there's some really good ones out on the market. Now, you're not going to find a lockdown corner. There's not going to be a Jalen Johnson out there on the trade market, but that's good news. That means we're not going to have to give up any first or second round picks. But there's plenty of CB2, CB3 types that can improve the depth of our secondary. The one guy I think would be really good in this defense is Seattle Seahawks Tariq Woolen. Reek the Freak, a fourth-year pro with elite speed and incredible ball skills. He has 11 interceptions and 30 pass breakups in 3 seasons, and he would be a big upgrade to our secondary. He's also best in man coverage, a guy who would really fit Dennis Allen's defense. But this one really comes down to why would the Seahawks trade him and how much would they want in return? But Reek is another player in the final year of his deal. I just don't know if the Seahawks are going to move on from him. But even if we can't get Reek, there are still plenty of corners out there on the market. Alante Taylor from the Saints, Michael Taylor from the Jets, Roger McCreary with the Titans, and then another guy who I'm a fan of, Cam Taylor Britt of the Bengals. But there's more names out there as well as the possible free agent signing. Asante Samuel Jr. is a guy who's supposed to be healthy anytime here. So the cornerback market might have more names available than any other position. And I believe the Bears are going to be buyers this year at the deadline. I don't know if it's going to be a huge move, but I do expect us to make a trade. When it comes to this trade deadline talk, though, I'm surprised by the amount of fans that are so sure that Ryan Poles isn't going to make any trades. Like I said, he's made at least one every single season he's been here, and that's when this team wasn't even competitive. Now we're a team on the rise. We're a team that is out of our rebuild stage and finally in win now mode. Out of every team in the NFL, the Bears should be one of the biggest buyers. This is a team that any team trying to trade away an asset, they should be calling Ryan Poles. We also have to take into account that Ian Cunningham potentially could finally land a GM job next year. I expect this front office to be really aggressive. And when it comes to upgrading this roster, nothing can be ruled out here. And while I personally don't believe we're going to be getting one of the big name players or making a splash move, I do think Ryan Poles and company are going to be searching for some value deals all around the NFL. They're going to be looking for a player that can help this team without giving up valuable draft capital. And we have to at least consider that. But another point here, guys, everyone's talked about Ryan Poles' draft picks in the third round. What if we could get a really good player and give up a third round pick next year? I honestly might prefer trading for a known commodity over letting Ryan Poles pick another player in round three. And you guys know I support our GM, but that's something to consider here with how our third round picks have turned out. Valus Jones Jr., Zach Pickens, and Karan Amagaji. Luckily, we didn't have a pick in round three this year, but let me know what you guys think about this. I know people get tired of trade deadline talk, but the rumors are running rampant, and I just want to get a couple videos out there to answer some of the biggest questions. I do think we're going to make a move this year, but I don't think there's any point in really speculating that we're going to trade for guys like Max Crosby or some of the other big names. I just do not see those guys getting moved. But there are some other names that are going under the radar, and a lot of those players might end up getting traded. Who do you guys want to see in a Chicago Bears uniform? Let me know in the comments. As always, I appreciate everyone who watches. Please hit that like button for me to support the channel. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.